can be very seductive. We don't believe that it is the ultimate situation, the ultimate solution. We believe that we should explore a little bit more and that's the trend actually, from the international community. First, there are a number of solutions, starting by alleviating the debt service. The second solution, and we could elaborate on all this, but the second one should be to provide concessional funding, long-term, with lower sensitivity to government budgets. These are solutions, and the funds are there, and we'll come back to this later on. The third one, as an illustration, and Mr. Prime Minister, you have mentioned it, you have rightly mentioned this question of the SDR. There's a natural definition of the SDR, which is, I would say, and I'm speaking in front of former governor of the Banque de France and president of the ECB, with a lot of respect, but there's this definition, classical definition of the SDR as a monetary solution. But there is also, and this is what we've been pushing for, a financial definition of the SDR, which means how do we support the mostly the emerging countries? How do we support them? Post-pandemic, the real rule when it comes to solving this kind of issue is to consider that at any point in time, cash is king. Liquidity is king. And cash being king, we believe that what's been put in place recently, valued 23rd of August by the IMF, it is a very good solution. It is a very good solution. And we believe that that would give means to emerging countries to face non-governmental, non-budget issues, non-budget funding, but immediately to inject within the system this liquidity as SDR has been converted. From public sovereign issues, there are a number of solutions. I've partially mentioned it. Inflation can help alleviate debt smoothly, partially. And again, the world can afford that. The world can afford a little bit of inflation in a context of high economic growth. One other solution from the public sovereign issues could be the setting up of budget consolidation policies in the context of the risk of potential social tensions. Again, South Africa has, from that perspective, can from that perspective be an illustration. One other solution is debt reprofiling to benefit from the current low, very low interest rates environment. As we know that interest rates are negative today. It is a huge, unique opportunity. Last thing I would like to highlight here is debt restructuring. Debt restructuring so as to restore the sustainability of public debt and avoid repayment default. One key element again here is at any point in time, and this is my regular speech to different governments, and the ministers of finance are regularly meet, is to avoid repayment default. Let's discuss reprofiling. Let's discuss restructuring. At any point in time, we should avoid repayment default. Mr. Prime Minister, your very last question. Yes, we believe indeed in the market on the basis that, and this was my first observation when I moved from pure private capital market sector to public, to deal with public issues now. The development banks, and notably in Africa, are way, read my lips, they are way undercapitalized. So that's why, and that's why you have mentioned, we are currently roadshowing in order to double our tier one capital, in order to raise debt in the market. And we strongly believe that there are huge opportunities in the market. The market has strong pockets, strong liquidity pocket for a number of reasons. Aging of population, over savings in a number of places in the world, notably in Asia, Japan, etc., etc. Now, in a region where the economic growth is still very vivid, and I do agree with Minister, in 2020, in our region, the economic growth was, in spite of the pandemic, was positive, 0.9, which was one of the